In this video, I'm going to show you how to make more confident and energetic lines. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to Kyle Heath Art. Real quick, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to help me make more videos like this, you can support me on Patreon. I've got a link down in the description. One of the most common beginner errors I see in drawing is artists using hatchy, tentative little marks in order to complete their drawing. In the end, the drawing looks uncertain and kind of a little bit like a bird's nest. What this conveys to a viewer is that the artist didn't really know what they were trying to do before they started. Now, thankfully, there's a really simple fix for that, and that is to draw with your entire arm. When we resort to just using finger movements, we can get so focused in on the details that we miss the big picture, and then our drawing seems disconnected. But when we start using big joints in the arm, we're talking the shoulders and the elbows, that does something for your seeing as well. You start to zoom out a little bit in your field of vision when you're using the big joints in your arm, and it's easier for you to keep the big picture in mind when you create. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple techniques that will help reinforce using your entire arm when you draw. This is automatically going to make your drawing look much more confident and energetic. So let's get started. First off, we're going to draw circles. So try to make perfect round circles if you can. Start off with medium shapes. It doesn't have to be just one circle. You can kind of dance around it till you get the shape. But think about using your shoulder instead of your fingers to make the shape. It might feel a little bit out of control at first, like it's difficult to make your arm do that shape. Don't worry about that. That's exactly what we're practicing. With practice, eventually you'll get to the point where you can be accurate using these larger joints. We tend to resort to the small joints of our fingers because we feel like those are going to make a more accurate drawing. We're going to convey the thing that we want to convey if we can use our fingers. But we can do the same thing with the bigger joints as well. And the drawing is going to hold together much better when we do that. So I've started off doing circles in the direction that I feel most comfortable with, but you also want to get some practice going the other way around. So now lefty me is going to go clockwise. And these are a little more difficult for me, but this is good practice. You want to make a series of big, medium, and small circles. That'll give you practice in all the different types of curves that you might be creating with this motion. You can think of this as making like kind of a pretty little piece of abstract art. I'm going to go over some of these so I can get some big circles in too. And there we go. That's a little circle practice. This is also a fantastic way to warm up before you start making some art. So for the next exercise, we're going to be drawing lines. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a dot on each side of the page, and then we're going to try to connect the dot using a single movement of our arm. Now, don't feel bad if you're not anywhere close to the dot. I'm sure a lot of mine are going to be off too. But this is a nice way, again, to practice control while using larger joints of the body. Do another one. You can also practice changing the angle up. There's a downward angle. I'll do an upward angle as well. And then you can also practice with big, medium, and small lines. So I'll do a smaller one here. And you can make ones that are even smaller. Even when you're going small here, I encourage you to use your whole arm. It is possible to just use like your wrist for a smaller movement like this. Like I could go like that with my wrist. But this is an exercise where we want to start getting practice with control with the whole arm. All right, let's do a crazy one. I'm going to go this direction. Ideally, you'll want to be able to go in any direction with these lines. All right, so again, this is a good warm-up exercise before drawing. Go ahead and just fill up a page with lines. So for homework, I would recommend every day for the next week, fill up a page with circles and fill up a page with lines before you make some art. This is a great way to start to reinforce a new habit of using the big joints in your arms. And as a fun little bonus, if you want to work on this even further, you can take some sidewalk chalk and make some big sweeping lines outside. When you make these lines, I would encourage you to think of being like a ribbon twirler or like a musical conductor. You can get a real sense of flow and tempo with these lines. And the more you can start becoming comfortable with varying the tempo and flow in your lines, then you really start getting into the secret sauce of what masters do when they create. Making a stroke of a line or a stroke of a brush is not one simple act. Oftentimes, a master is going to vary the tempo, the pressure, the speed at which they draw or paint in order to convey a certain visual effect. So sidewalk chalk is a great way to start playing around with this. It doesn't matter how it looks at the end, so that's a nice bonus. But you can get this sense of really varying the movement while you're making that chalk brush stroke. So pick up some sidewalk chalk and there's a little bonus exercise for you. These techniques may seem really basic, but they're effective because they're fundamental. Getting habits ingrained, like being loose with your drawing and making big lines, is going to help you to be able to see your subject in wholeness and therefore convey your subject in a way that's more held together. And drawing with flow also gives you more facility and ability to create the types of lines or brush strokes that you want to create. Good brush strokes and pencil marks don't just happen. They happen by reinforcing a pattern of good brush strokes and pencil marks. So taking a little bit of time out to go to some super basics of making lines with your arm is an excellent way to improve your artwork. Thanks for watching, you guys. Again, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up and follow the channel. And if you'd like to support me making more videos like this, please support me on Patreon. Thanks and happy art making, everyone.